Hey, what's happening? I'm Coach Ryan Fanley here in the Viper Pit. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about my recent training. It's not pretty right now because I ruptured my pec. I completely rolled it up, tore it off of the humerus and rolled it up a little bit. Actually, some of the muscle tore from the tendon and then the tendon tore from the bone. Okay, complete rupture. I was doing floor press of all things. Floor press is typically a safer lift because it limits the amount of extension you get in the shoulder. But in this case, it was just too much for me to handle. And the pec went kaboom, all right? I'm gonna show you a video of it here so you can see what I'm talking about. I went down and it just exploded. I don't have audio on it, but it sounded like a gunshot. There were people on the other side of the gym that turned around and they were like, oh my gosh, I heard that. So I'm not here to just talk about me today, even though I'm going to use myself as an example, hopefully to be able to help you if you have a big injury or you're recovering from a surgery or whatever it may be. So first of all, before we get into the recovery and the mindset, I want to talk about why this happened. There are three things that happened specifically that I believe led to this tear, okay? Before we get into those though, it's important to understand strength training is good for you. Strength training is good for your joints, your tendons, your bones, your ligaments, your connective tissue, all those things, okay? Getting as strong as humanly possible, on the other hand, is not the wisest choice for joint and muscle health. So there's gotta be some balance there, and that's true of anything in life. The extremes are to be avoided. Same thing with aerobic work. You don't wanna do nothing aerobically and be a couch potato, but on the other hand, ultra marathoners a lot of times end up with heart problems too because it's insane oxidative stress day in and day out for hours at a time, okay? So balance is the key. I'm not a balanced person. I love smashing heavy weights. I like getting strong, and this is the price I have to pay for it sometimes, okay? I do it for my mentality, and the physical pain that I go through is worth not having to deal with the psychological pain that I would go through if I didn't get to smash heavy weights, okay? It's something that keeps me level, keeps me grounded, so I do it for my mental state, all right? Now, all that out of the way, three things that led to this rupture. First thing that happened is I did not respect the weight enough. So this was 405 that I ruptured my pec on. I had previously done 475 in 2 years ago. And so it wasn't, in my mind, I wasn't treating it as a super heavy weight. It's obviously heavy enough to still create injury, so I should have respected a little bit more, but I was very casual in my approach to it. I didn't really get focused the way I should have. The second thing that was wrong is my technique absolutely sucked. And this is one of those things, no matter what, you should always be working on technique. And honestly, if I'm being honest, this is one of the things I'm most guilty about. I like to come in, lift weights. I often lift by myself. 9 times out of 10, I train by myself. Probably more like 99 times out of 100 I train by myself. And so I don't always have someone to watch my technique. Well, this day I was training at a commercial gym and I had a spotter and all that and video. And I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder it ruptured. It was terrible technique. I didn't get tight. I was loosey-goosey. I lost my shoulders on the unrack. My elbows were wide instead of tucked in. My sternum was down. I mean, I could list about 12 things looking at it that I did incorrectly. So of course you're gonna get hurt if you have poor technique. And the third thing that I think was responsible, I think even if I respected the weight and even if I had good technique, I may not have ruptured it all the way, but I may have still gotten injured. I spent probably the previous year only benching between 290 and 325 and working volume. So I was building up to doing a ton of reps per session with those weights. I never really got heavy. And this was my first strength block in a while. And because it wasn't a PR, I thought I was playing it conservative with a 405 on this. The set before at 385 was easy. I did it for 2 easy reps. And I went straight to 405 thinking it would be easy. And it didn't feel heavy when I pulled it out, but the muscle and tendon was not ready for that weight. Again, I'd spent a whole year not going above about 325, taking it all the way to the chest. So the tendons didn't have time to adapt to a heavier load. What I should have done in retrospect, hindsight's always 20/20, I should have spent probably 6 weeks working from 325 to 405, gradually building up, working on my control and lowering the barbell down, and I think that would have kept me injury free. Okay, so I ruptured it about, gosh, it's been about 5 weeks ago now. The videos you've been seeing on the Viper channel, I tend to record a ton of content ahead of time and release it one at a time. So I ruptured it about 5 weeks ago. Excuse me, 4 weeks ago, had surgery 2.5 weeks ago. All right, so I'm 2.5 weeks post-op. They drilled a big trough in the head of the humerus, in the arm bone. They weave this ortho cord through the tendon. It's like a really high tensile strength dental floss. And then they just embedded it in and pulled it, kind of knotted it up inside the bone. Now for the first 8 weeks, it's just the ortho cord kind of holding it in there. The bone still has to close off around the tendon before it's safe to really train hard. So I can't really actively flex my pecs a lot. I can do some really gentle isometrics, but even with that, I have to be really cautious. Now, I'm supposed to be in a sling for 8 weeks, shoulder sling, like immobilized, locked down for 8 weeks. But I've been doing a couple strategies to try to improve my healing, and I'll talk about that in a minute. First of all, you guys got to see this scar. I don't know if you can see that there, right here. So it's not as big as it was originally supposed to be, but it's healing up nicely. So a couple things I'm doing. One, I'm using wound healing peptides. That's right, peptides. I've spoken out against them on many instances, and now I find myself using them. I've talked to several physicians who are really all about them, and now there's compounding pharmacies in the US, a couple, I think like 2 in the whole US, that actually do them on a prescription base. So BPC 157 is a wound healing peptide. In the rat studies, the rat studies are absolutely incredible. It's in human trials now. They've actually completed a few human trials because it's available compounding. But basically it helps you heal at a faster rate than you normally would. Really, really fast. It's good for tendons, it's good for joints. A lot of people report decreases in joint pain when they use it. So I had a doctor shoot into this shoulder, because this is my good shoulder, but it was my previously awful shoulder. I really lack range of motion here. But now it's my good shoulder, so now I got to use it. So I'm getting treatment on this too. A physician shot in PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, and a whole vial of BPC peptides directly into the joint with an ultrasound-guided injection. Pretty cool stuff. Really, I do firmly believe it's helping out. And then on this side, I've just been kind of peppering the area around the scar with short, like insulin needles, and just injecting the peptides in there, and it's really helping up with the healing. Again, I'm supposed to be in a sling for 8 weeks. I was out completely, ditched it completely on day 7. So it is healing fast. Now with that comes some responsibility, because now I have to be really cautious about putting weight on it. Like, I don't want to put weight on it and accidentally pull it out. Just because I'm feeling good doesn't mean that the bone has healed yet, okay? So I'm injured, it sucks. Training is what I really enjoy to do, what I really enjoy doing, but now I can't do it to the level that I want. What am I doing? Okay, so the first thing is you have to have a positive psychological disposition. You cannot have a mopey Eeyore, oh, I hurt myself. Instead of focusing on what I can't do, which is things like push-ups, barbell bench presses, etc., really any upper body work at the moment, I really focus on the things that I can do. So right now I'm working on driving up my aerobic capacity. Okay, so I'm doing cardiac output work, I'm doing aerobic intervals, aerobic power work on an echo bike. And I'm enjoying it right now because it's giving me something to drive for. Again, psychology is the reason I train. I need something to train for. I need goals. I need to drive towards things. And so even if it's not my typical things like bench press and typical lifting metrics, I can still chase something. And right now, the Echo bike is where it's at. I can also do lower body stuff. So today I did a little circuit with some glute bridges, some lunges, some step ups, all for really, really high volume. Because I'm using just body weight right now. In another week and a half, I'll be able to put a safety squat bar on my shoulders, so then that will start me driving towards better squats. I may squat 3 or 4 times a week with a bar because I won't be needing to recover from a lot of intense upper body sessions. So I'm really not letting it get me down, and that's important for you too. If you have something that's injured, you can't train the way you want, don't focus on that thing. Think about what you can do. Have a positive mindset. Be an ass kicker. You know what I mean? Like, don't sit around and be sad about it. That's not going to do you any favors or the people around you. Okay, so just get excited about training for a new goal. You know, I'm I may never bench press seriously heavy again. Yeah, you heard it here first. All right. I'm tired of having these shoulder issues, so I may just get really good at things like push-ups and bear crawls and kettlebell stuff. And just work to train and stay fit. Now I say that, and as soon as I'm cleared to bench press, you know I'm gonna go bench press, okay? So that's me kind of talking out of my butt right now, but hopefully you get the picture. The point is, I just wanna be able to train hard at something, okay? And the more I take care of my body by not doing stupid stuff like what I just did, the more I'll be able to train for those things. So right now, aerobic capacity it is. I'm probably gonna get a little skinnier here, a little skinny in the Viper Pit. Look like a basketball player, all right? And that's okay, because I was a basketball player. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Okay, therapy real quick. So I had surgery. The first week post-op, it was literally this. I was allowed to move my arm in circles hanging down with just my body weight, not using the muscles of the shoulder, but by rocking my body. I could do circles this way, and pendulums, okay? In week 2, I started doing some gentle stretches. So using things like, hold on a sec, a PVC pipe, putting it in the hand here, getting the shoulders back, and then externally rotating gently this way here to work on shoulder range of motion in this plane. Done some gentle external rotation work with like a towel or a shirt rolled up here between my elbow for support, so I can have something to squeeze, activate the lats, externally rotate. Isometrics from different angles, so I'll get up against the door frame. I am allowed to gently push against the door frame and hold for 10 seconds. Again, there's no movement about the joint. It's an isometric contraction at a fixed joint angle, and that's just to kind of maintain neurological activation through that tissue. So I do forward, I do extension back, I do external rotation, and I do abduction into the wall. So pushing into the wall like a shoulder lateral raise, just to maintain some degree of activity around the shoulder complex while the wound heals. That's pretty much it. Again, I'm also getting this shoulder treated. I'm trying to get squared away. I love shoulder presses and chin-ups, and those are two things that I haven't been able to do for 4 years now because of injury, okay? So I'm trying to get this all squared away to the best of my ability. So I'm doing a ton of mobility work. I'm stretching like it's my freaking job. Stretching, strengthening in really weak end-to-end ranges. Nothing impressive at all, but necessary at this point in time. So anyway, sorry, this is a little bit of a long rambling video, but I hope I wanted to give you some context. I'm gonna be showing you some stuff that I'm doing with my rehab once I get to more graduated phases. Again, right now it's super basic. I just showed you everything I'm doing right now at 2.5 weeks post-op. At week 4, it will get a little more aggressive, and then another benchmark is week 8. Week 8, I can start like loading. I'll be able to start dumbbell pressing and probably some hands elevated push-ups by that point. And then probably around 6 months is when I'll be able to really, like, if I do have a hair up my butt to start benching hard again, it'll probably be about the 6-month mark, which is about in May, end of May. So I'm in no rush. I've got new goals, so I got my drive behind me. And I hope this, if anything, I hope you took that away from this video, is that when you have an injury, rest, let it heal, and work on something else. There's always something you can work on. Even if you have both your freaking legs chopped off, you could get really good at a hand gripper. You know what I mean? The Captains of Crush number 4. What, only one person has ever been able to close that thing, or 2? I don't know what the record is, but man, if you had your legs chopped off and you could just do grippers all day, maybe you could be the first human to close 2 Captains of Crush number 4 grippers, like that at the same time. All right, think about it. All right, don't let your mind limit you. Get excited about training, all right? I'm Coach Ryan Family from the Viper Pit. If you like this video, please hit subscribe below. I'll catch you next time.